The story comes to us from local12.com. Going back to Huntsville, Alabama, we're going to talk about another Huntsville police officer who's being charged with a pretty serious crime. Now, this police officer apparently is a courtesy officer in one of those apartment complexes where, I believe you live there rent-free or lower rent as long as you handle, issues that come up within that complex. But this Alabama police officer is now facing a capital murder charge after he was accused of murdering his pregnant girlfriend.
Attorneys for a Huntsville police officer charged with killing his pregnant girlfriend want details of the case kept quiet. David McCoy's lawyers filed 2 motions. One asks the judge to put a gag order in place to ensure no one associated with the investigation or court case can talk about it. The other motion asks the judge to seal all trial proceedings. Right now, McCoy is in the Madison County Jail without bond, but he's still being paid by your tax dollars.
When a woman was found dead on Friday from a gunshot wound, sources confirmed the woman was in a relationship with David McCoy, and she had recently shared with him she was pregnant. McCoy called 911 and claimed his girlfriend shot herself sitting in a car. Police then responded to the scene. Investigators say they found a photo of him in the car and texts on the victim's phone that led them to consider him as a suspect.
Now, the hearing is similar to a trial, except it's closed to the public. The Huntsville City Council will select a local attorney to serve as the hearing officer, and then both sides will give their story. In the end, the mayor and police chief will determine the consequences that employee will face. It's still unclear when this whole process will take place, and some say it should have already happened.
McCoy was a courtesy officer in the apartment complex, like I said, but now his neighbors are trying to piece together how a police officer is being charged with capital murder. Wright, one of the residents, says if the police are out here like this, then I have no one out here to trust. There it is, guys. I could end it right there if I wanted.
City policy says that a disciplinary hearing needs to take place before Officer David McCoy's pay is taken away. And people I spoke with today said that they're not happy with that policy.
We have to stop rewarding trauma.
It doesn't seem like it's right that we have someone who's being punished and yet still being rewarded.
We go against the law. Do you think my job is going to keep paying me? That process should play out within, for me, hours.
Like, it's definitely some special treatment for the police officer.
But I will say that he's being held without bond, and the county coroner says an autopsy of the victim will take place on Monday, January 10th.
Members of the community don't believe it's fair that a Huntsville police officer charged with murder is still collecting a paycheck. Now, it's important to point out that with former officer William Darby, the city said it could not hold a disciplinary hearing until after his trial. But that policy applies for every city employee, and some people say it doesn't make sense. And of course, those situations are very different because Darby was on duty when that shooting took place, while McCoy was off duty. I did reach out to the city today to see when exactly this disciplinary hearing might take place. Will it be before his trial, after his trial? But I have not heard back at this time.
But I could have ended it right there where they said if the police are out here like this, then who do we trust?